Hi, it's me, the guy who's very worried about the future of his country and his species, honestly. Everything is very scary right now, and the fact that I'm functioning at the level that I am is, frankly, a miracle. So in a recent video, I looked at a very funny Christian movie titled A Taste of Praise.
It's just, I don't do custom cakes for same-sex couples.
Explain yourself.
It's just an agreement that I made with God.
And you all seem to really enjoy that, so when I discovered that there was another Christian movie featuring several of the same actors titled Cancel Me Not, I knew I had to watch it. And 20 minutes into this movie, when I realized it was even more insane than A Taste of Praise, which I'll remind you is a movie that played ominous, foreboding music over a couple revealing that they were gay.
Well, it's a wedding between two humans that are madly in love. So Frank and William together forever.
I knew that I had to make a video on it too. But before I spend the rest of this video roasting yet another piece of Christian media, I want to make clear that I'm aware there are hundreds of millions of people today that identify as Christian, whom all believe different things, and they express and practice those beliefs in a variety of ways. I do not think that all Christians are wrong or bad. I am only making fun of the Christians that participated in this movie and what they believe. Cool? People are still gonna get mad at me, but that just comes with expressing any opinion publicly, I guess. I'll live. So this movie opens with the same lead actor as A Taste of Praise, Eddie McClintock, who I've since learned was once a working TV actor, having guest spots in a ton of shows and even a leading role in the science fiction series Warehouse 13. But work must have become a lot more difficult to come by as he now finds himself starring in micro-budget Christian movies like these. Now, I don't know if Eddie McClintock strongly believes in the messages these movies are touting. I'd assume not, considering neither are even listed on his IMDb, but the fact that he'd rather be in these terrible movies with harmful messaging than just find any other career than acting is, let's just say, morally sketchy to me. But in this film, McClintock plays movie star Chase Murray, who's standing trial for assault and harassment of the, schmexual variety. Trust me, having to speak like that is even more painful than having to hear it. It's not me, it's you, tube. He's also wearing an egregiously fake-looking goatee that he, spoilers, just pretends to shave off a few scenes later. So why have someone order it online and glue it to Eddie McClintock's face at all? Or do you think that Eddie just glue it on himself? I couldn't say. But the jury finds him not guilty and he's cleared of all charges. We then cut to Emma, a devout Christian girl being dropped off at college by her parents, where she meets her roommate Grace, who inexplicably acts very cold to the family.
Hi, is this your dog?
Yeah, that's Blue.
Oh, wow.
I'm Grace. I guess you're my roommate.
Hey, I'm Emma.
Judging by what happens in the rest of the movie, I think the idea here is that Grace is mean because she's a liberal. And I'm serious. Then cut back to Chase, who, following the successful trial, shaves and bids his lawyer farewell.
Can you get these back to my house, or maybe
Sure.
send them to the dry cleaner or something? And shoes.
Sure.
Hope they're not too stinky.
Hope they're not too stinky. See, now that he made a little self-deprecating joke about his feet smelling rank, you care about this character and what happens to him. Screenwriting is so easy. After dropping Emma off, her father and mother, Heather, are revealed to be having marital issues when Heather leaves him to stay in an Airbnb that she has a breakdown on the balcony of.
She can wash your dirty shorts and take your clothes to the laundromat. Iron your pressed pants.
Chase, who's staying in the same apartment complex, overhears it and goes over to check on this stranger. Now, it seems to me that a lot of the dialogue in this movie, especially between these two characters, is sort of loosely scripted and half improvised.
I don't know. I never took that class. Huh?
That's not even funny.
And that was the wrong decision, as I'm pretty sure there aren't any two people on the planet that have less chemistry than these two actors.
Son, come on.
Okay,
All
I'll do
right?
it. Yep.
Well, there's
I'll
a
do
drum
it.
circle. We can.
Oh,
Yeah,
really?
you should, I can move. I mean,
Okay.
incredibly white, but I can.
Wow.
You should see me.
All right.
All right.
It's so bad that it took me until way later in the movie when Chase actually says out loud that he likes her to even realize that their connection was supposed to be romantic. Maybe that's just what it's like when you're older and single though. The dating pool is so much smaller that you both force yourself to spend time with someone you have zero chemistry with just for the possibility of feeling the touch of another human being again. These are the things that I worry about. Anyway, they both get trashed, pass out outside, and decide to keep hanging out the next morning.
I just don't go on the internet.
Well, that's probably for the best.
Why?
I don't know, man. It's just too much. It's just such a mess. The opinions, the lies, manipulation. I'm sorry, but I think if the next generation doesn't get a hold of this, it's gonna get really bad.
Yeah, he's right. Everything was just fine until my generation came along and invented opinions. With the rest of that statement, though, I kind of agree with him, actually. They then go to the beach where they run into the two teenage girls that took a picture of them passed out earlier.
Well, listen, if I gave you $100, could we get a couple canvases and some paint, maybe hang out and paint with you guys?
We could do that. We take cash up front.
Oh, all right.
Asking to hang out with two teenage girls you don't know? Chase, buddy, did you forget what you were just on trial for yesterday? With behavior like this, I'm starting to question that innocent verdict. Back with Emma at freshman orientation, she listens to Dean Thomas give a speech.
My name's Dean Thomas. This is freshman orientation.
Not to be confused with Dean Thomas, the only black character in all of Harry Potter.
Our goal, my goal, is to take your malleable minds and expand them away from everything that you've been forced to learn up until right now. Completely dismantle your belief system.
I remember my first week of college when my dean gave a supervillain speech about dismantling my worldview. So we've stumbled onto the main theme of this movie, which is the plague of universities in America brainwashing the minds of the youth into believing... what exactly?
This university will teach you strong opinions that I like to call truths. And these truths have not been polluted by religion or poisoned by extreme morality. They're more inclusive.
Did he just say inclusive? Ah! Only Satan himself would dabble in such evil! So clearly whoever wrote this movie hasn't actually attended college in America recently, but his kid came back from their first semester with a septum ring and pronouns in their bio, so he's just writing what he imagines it has to be like for that to have happened. Also, the dean is all, what we teach here hasn't been diluted by religion.
And these truths have not been polluted by religion.
Does the writer not know that basically all universities, even in the leftist dystopia of California, offer classes focused on religion? Also, why would the college be so adamant about dismantling their previous worldviews when that's what got them accepted into the university in the first place? Everything that they learned in high school? Hate to break it to you, but the reason that a lot of people start thinking more progressively after attending college is because that's what being presented with facts tends to do to a person.
If you have any adopted thoughts that you're holding on to, they will have to be stricken from your feeble young minds.
We return to Chase and Heather.
Oh, I know what I wanted to ask you. What is I-Core 13 for?
I have no idea. Oh, 1 Corinthians 13:4. It's the love is kind passage in the Bible.
Okay, there is no world where a man that wears a patriotic muscle shirt like that doesn't recognize a Bible verse when he sees one. Emma calls her mom to tell her about college.
Yeah, it's just different, but I'll figure it out.
Different how?
Very liberal. All is fine, all is well, life has no absolutes, blah, blah, blah.
Since when is it a stereotypical liberal mindset to think that all is well? Most left-leaning people I know are the ones accurately pointing out how terrible everything is. Especially, you know, recently.
So here's a little tidbit.
Oh, fun fact?
A fun fact. My dad was a pastor. So I spent my childhood in the church.
She's a PK? Pastor's kid? Longtime viewers of me will know what I'm referencing there. The next day, Chase has a call with his sister, and I think they must have forgotten to shoot Chase's side of the conversation originally, because it really looks like his footage was recorded after the fact by Eddie McClintock himself.
Listen, I'm gonna send Rocco up to get you and Ethan. I want you guys to fly back down here. I'll spend a few days. We'll go to the beach.
Anyway, back at the school, Emma is hit on by another student.
Is that a Bible?
It is?
So you're a Buddhist?
No.
Right. I don't know. Maybe sometime we could talk about it.
Man, and I thought I was bad at talking to women.
Are you patronizing me because I carry a Bible?
No.
Because from what I can see, this place could use some more of these, so.
What makes her say that about her peers? In an earlier party scene, we saw some kids arguably drinking, but that's not something this movie considers sinful, seeing as we saw Emma's Christian mom get wine drunk in a previous scene.
You didn't tell me we were going to Funky Town.
So is it just that unlike her, they don't have framed pictures of Jesus in their dorm? Because if so, you're setting a pretty high bar there, Emma. But despite his negative riz, he manages to get Emma's number.
It's under Bible Girl.
But what I'm really confused by is this person that walks up after Emma leaves, who has something to retrieve from the dorm mailboxes on the second day of school. Then, while in the middle of a completely unrelated conversation, Chase goes on this unhinged rant to Heather about cancel culture.
Let's say I'm telling the truth about something, whatever, doesn't matter what it is, right? I'm telling the truth, but a large group of people get together along with the media and say, no, he's not telling the truth. He's a liar. Right? And their attacks are so vicious and so ugly and so relentless that it has to be true, right? Even if a court finds that person not guilty, in the court of public opinion, he's guilty.
So let me just say that I'm pretty sure to most real women, a rant like this would come across as a big red flag. But of course to Heather, who, you know, comes from the imagination of a conservative male writer, it's fine. But also, I can't really think of any real life situation comparable to what's happening to Chase that he's complaining about, where someone's career was completely tanked despite the accusations against them being proven false. Like, I guess there's Johnny Depp, who won that anti-defamation trial against Amber Heard, but he hasn't even really attempted a career comeback yet that you could point to as a failure. But I mean, he got to be in those cologne commercials that went over fine. So this whole epidemic of false accusations against celebrities unfairly ruining their careers seems to be just another item on the long list of things that, despite not actually happening, conservatives are freaking out about. Right behind public schools teaching gay sex and white genocide, there's then a scene where Chase's nephew starts crying to him about being bullied by a girl at school.
You're a good kid, all right? Don't believe any of that, all right? And your Uncle Chase is gonna help, okay? You know I've always been here for you, right? Okay? They can't cancel you, buddy. I won't let them.
Cancel him? Why are we using that terminology here? Is the implication that the girl's bullying him because of what's going on in the press with his uncle? They never say that, I'm just speculating here. Weird movie that I watched. Later, Chase apologizes to Heather about his outburst earlier and confides in her about feeling lost in life.
We live in an imperfect world with a lot of messed up people. But as long as we stay true to ourselves, none of that, it can't touch us. Because the creator of truth, God, can't ever be canceled. It's not possible.
I mean, you know, I kind of agree with her. God is pretty uncancelable. He's had a very long career, even after he impregnated a 14-year-old girl. In fact, you could argue that's exactly when he really started to take off. Then at college, after Emma refuses to drink alcohol while hanging out with the Riz Master, him and his friends go into her dorm while she's asleep and vandalize the place. Oh my God, nothing like this has ever happened. Some Christians want to be oppressed so badly, but 66% of Americans still identify as Christian. They're not even a minority. The current year is based on an estimate of when Jesus was born. The president-elect sells Bibles.
Christians are under siege. We must protect content that is pro-God,
We love God.
You're not oppressed just because Starbucks holiday cups don't say Merry Christmas on them anymore. Only one time I actually did get bullied exactly like this, but for being an Elton John fan. Only difference being the graffiti was way longer. After being asked about him by some reporters, Heather confronts Chase about his fame, which he admits to and recounts to her his recent trial. Meanwhile, Emma reports the vandalization to the dean, but he refuses to look into it further for the sake of the school's reputation.
Boys will be boys.
Dean, they broke into my room.
Miss Campbell, in the absence of truth, all you have here is words. And in this case, words are insignificant.
Now, this scenario is actually very realistic, as something similar has been known to happen on several college campuses in real life. The key difference being that the incidents going uninvestigated in real life weren't girls being bullied for being Christian. These women's were victims of something far worse. And this movie taking those incidents but recontextualizing them to be about this fake epidemic of Christian harassment, it really doesn't sit right with me. But anyway, this is a comedy video. We got a little dark there. Hey, we're here for jokes and hijinks. Chase and Heather see on TV that his accuser has been arrested for bearing false evidence against him, when Heather gets a call from Emma, who is in tears. Cut to months later, where Chase is about to give a speech at Emma's school. Surprised that a school that's supposedly so woke is letting someone who was recently at the center of an essay trial give a speech, but okay.
Yesterday, I received a phone call from one of the most talented actors of the last decade. His films have grossed more than $12 billion worldwide.
Wait, what? So is Chase like this world's version of Robert Downey Jr.? I mean, he did kind of look like him in the opening scene with the goatee. Jarvis, show me this guy's Bible. Also, he's that famous, yet Heather still didn't recognize him. She must be one of those really committed Christians that avoids all secular media and only watches pureflix. Chase then gives his speech, and it is, it's so unhinged that I'm pretty sure I just have to play the whole thing.
I want to tell you, kids, that dangerous people are filling your minds with dangerous ideas. These people call themselves postmodernists when really it's just neo-Marxists. Neo-Marxists disguised as college professors that are dominating our colleges and universities with their anti-American rhetoric across this country, and it is dangerous and it is poisonous.
Realizing the speech to be so anti-woke, the dean tries to stop him, but the now red-pilled crowd cheers, demanding he continue. So he does, ending the movie with a call to fight back against cancel culture.
Stay true to yourselves, okay? Live a life of conviction, passion, honesty, and courage. And if you do, be warned, because they will come for you. They will try and cancel you. But be assured, they can't cancel us all.
You know, he's right. Cosby, Weinstein, Spacey, Diddy, give them all their jobs back. So obviously, as a movie, this thing fails on every level. I'm pretty sure even people who are like 100% on board with its message would agree that there's like nothing to be garnered from this from an entertainment standpoint. But bad movies I can handle. Its message is what I really have a problem with. A lot of people right now, especially in America, have grown distrustful of people like college professors, scientists, journalists. People who, if they're doing their job correctly, are simply presenting facts. But a lot of what these experts say is often dismissed as being part of some false liberal narrative that they're pushing.
It was a lie. The media ran with the lie. The majority believed the lie.
And I can partly understand why that idea might seem appealing to so many people, because a lot of what is true also isn't easy to contend with. The fact that we're killing our planet, that gender and sexuality are far more complex than you previously believed them to be, or just that a lot of the systems that we operate under were designed for certain people to flourish while others struggled. I'll admit that learning about these things often isn't easy or fun, but it doesn't make them any less true. And I don't like our chances chances of overcoming any of these problems when half of us can't even acknowledge that they're problems to begin with. Hot, radical, leftist, neo-Marxist take, but it's bad when we as a country can't agree on reality. Also, people like those behind this movie and politicians and other figures that try and plant seeds of distrust in you towards college professors and journalists and scientists.
We won with poorly educated. I love the poorly educated. We're the smartest people, we're the most loyal people.
Those people aren't your friends, and they're saying all this because an uneducated population is easier for them to control, you guys. So, you know, that all sucks. Anyway, I'm gonna go rewatch what has been my only source of serotonin this past month. Wicked. No.